Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Andy, and the prime directive of my life is to increase the quality of my consciousness and to help others do the same. Wanted to come at you guys today and chat for a little bit about a really powerful tool that I've been using to help me get through a lot of the more difficult times that I've experienced over the last few years, specifically in the last year. Just to be a little transparent, last year in July, my brother, he got into a really serious motorcycle accident, and it really shook the entire family. It ended up being a hit and run, and the people. Hang on, I'll pause the story till I get past this dog. Oh, there's more than one. This is awesome. Oh, and this is cool too. There's a license plate right up ahead with my wife's name. That's cool. Anyways, so yeah, it was a tragic accident. Back to the more grim story. It was a hit and run, and the people who hit him ended up jumping out of the car and hopping into another car that was right behind them, and someone actually came up and stole his bag and had like his phone and everything in it. It was really just a whole series of unfortunate events that really shook the entire family. And of course, because it was a hit and run, he never ended up getting paid out for insurance or anything like that. So it just made everything really crazy. It was actually one of the hardest years of my life. And then shortly before that, right before that happened, me and my wife, we had to live in separate places for a little bit because our housing situation got really messed up out of nowhere. Maybe I'll tell more about that story another day, but for me, it was just like a series of unfortunate events, one thing after another. And what I ended up having to do is use this tool that I'm going to share with you guys today to help me get through these really difficult times. And I want to explain exactly how you can use that in basically any area of your life, and use that especially in times that are difficult, or times that are challenging, or situations that you're going through that you feel like, why is this happening to me? Why is God treating me this way? Or why is the universe treating me this way? Or how could this happen? Anytime you've ever found yourself in a situation where you might have said those things to yourself. And that tool is essentially, I'm trying to think of a good word for it. The easiest word that I can think of is reframing, but that's like coaching lingo. So I guess to break that down is like being able to take a situation or a scenario that you find yourself in and be able to change what it means and how it affects you. And essentially the way that you do this, and in a great example, I guess I could say, is like on my desk at home, I have a plaque. After I learned about this idea of reframing, it dawned on me that it's something that you can use for literally anything. And so at the time, I was going through coach training, and success and failure was a big topic. And it made sense to me that if you can change anything, like any topic, any idea, in this instance, failure and success, you can take a topic like failure and have it equal success if failure equals growth and growth equals success. And so essentially, this kind of beamed into my head when I was going through the training, and we were all kind of sitting in class talking about, people succeeding or failing with their coach training, and what it really looks like to succeed as a coach, and what it looks like to to fail as a coach. And it made sense to me that failing doesn't always mean you have to quit. Failure doesn't mean that it's the end of the story. In fact, just like my plaque says, failure can equal success if failure equals growth and growth equals success. So every time I mess up, or every time I fail, or every time I hit a roadblock in my life, and it causes me to quote unquote fail, I can take that situation, regardless of what it is, and ask a question like, what is this situation trying to teach me right now? What is God trying to teach me right now? What is God preparing me for? And for someone like myself who was in that situation last year, dealing with the housing and the accident and everything sort of transitioning out of a period of my life that was really it was a very chaotic and it was fluctuating constantly. There was no certainty, there was no consistency, and so because of that, it caused a lot of very stressful emotions on a regular basis. And despite all of the work that I had done over the last 15 years or so of working on myself, it really forced me to dig deep into the reserves, I guess you could say. It really tapped me out. When I say it tapped me out, it really fucking tapped me out, you guys. Just dealing with dealing with splitting up the family, and then on top of that, the accident happening right after, that shit really it shook everything. It shook me to the core, and it really forced me to dig deep into my faith in God and my faith that everything happens for a reason. And by the grace of God, despite someone hitting him at 60 miles an hour on his motorcycle, he only had a broken ankle and some minor bleeding on the brain. No brain damage. As a matter of fact, right now, on this very day, he goes to the gym every single day. He works. He just graduated college. Sorry about that. As you can see, it means a lot. So I'm proud of him, needless to say. And his story is really inspiring. And maybe one day I'll have a little interview with him, and we can talk about that. But anyways, going back to the topic, I was having to use the tool that we're talking about to essentially reframe that situation, that really crazy situation. Like, what is this preparing me for? What is God trying to get me to learn? What am I trying to get? Sorry, there's a lot of cars coming down the street right now. I suppose it is rush hour time. But essentially, it forced me to ask questions like, what is this situation forcing me to pull out of myself? What is this situation calling me to do? Who is this situation calling me to be? And it got to a point where I had to get back into my faith in God. And again, this is not a religious God. This is just like trusting the process, trusting that I'm here for a reason, trusting that regardless of whatever the situation is, that I can grow from it, I can learn from it. And I wanted to just kind of explain and give context at how I might be able to, or how you might be able to use a tool like reframing for something this powerful. Or like, sorry, there's a lot of cars and I'm trying not to get hit over here. I'm just gonna go back this way towards the park. All right. Sorry about that. That's hilarious. There's always something. That's all right though, because we're really just here chatting. It's really not even serious. I'm just trying to keep it real and to talk with you guys for a bit about this tool and how you might be able to use it. And again, I was just trying to give context how in my own life there was a situation that was really challenging, honestly. And there was a couple other things after that took place that, weren't as challenging, but it all kind of took place all one after another and really forced me to dial into some of these things that I've learned over the years and forced me to look at the situation a whole lot different and really get in the mindset that this is happening for a reason. It's calling for me to be a stronger version of me. It's calling for me to be a more stable version of me. It's calling for me to be a more consistent version of me with work, with business, with my relationships, both family and personal. And it really called for me to be a whole different version of me. And I had plenty of conversations with my wife about, this is all just a test from God to see if we're ready for the life that He's about to bless us with, We got to see, He's got to see that we can handle the tough times whenever they come. He's got to test us to make sure that even though when things seem like they might be trending upward, despite how chaotic they might be trending upward. Well, let's just throw a fucking curveball. Let's throw a wrench in the mix. Let's throw a car accident that nearly kills your brother. Let's see if you can handle all that. And then maybe if you can handle all that and you're still serious about this life that you want to live, this entrepreneurial life where you want to work for yourself and be your own boss and get to a place where you can make your own schedule and call the shots. You're going to have some tests along the way if you want a lifestyle like that. If you want to be able to live as a as a free man, as a free woman. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some tests. But I'm here to tell you, man, that regardless of whatever tests you get put in front of, or whatever obstacles get thrown your way, there is nothing that you can't handle. There's nothing God would put in your way that you can't handle. There's no test that he would put in your path that you couldn't pass. And the version of you that can get through anything that you go through is already inside of you. He's already there. You just gotta dial in. You just gotta lock into that vibration, that frequency. And I'll be talking a little bit more about how you can do that and different tips and techniques, kind of like how we talked about today with reframing, and how you can reframe something like a tragic car accident and splitting up with your family for a couple months and being able to handle that type of long distance relationship with your wife and your kids and all of that. You know, there's nothing that God will put in my path that I wouldn't be able to handle. And the same goes for you, regardless of what that is. And I mean that. But that's it, man. This video is getting a little bit long. I don't want it to get too long because I know I'll lose some of you. Even though we're just here chatting and stuff. I know the attention span for some people is a little bit short. But, you know, I'm going to keep these videos unedited. I'm going to keep them legit. I'm going to keep them real. I felt like my last set of videos and stuff, it was very, you know, I would edit it. I'd have whole blooper tapes that I would watch back afterwards that were hilarious because I was trying to be so structured and so, like, I don't know, man. I was super, you know, this is how they do it. This is how it has to be done. So this is, you know, I got to do the thumbnails and I got to do the this and that. And I got to cut the blooper stuff out and all my uhs and ums. And anytime I clear my throat, I got to edit that out and all this. It just didn't feel authentic. So I'm about to keep these authentic today and for every other day. Because honestly, I'm here to chat. I'm here to chat. I'm here to help you grow. I'm here to help you be the best version of yourself. And if I could leave you with one thing, don't lose the faith, man. Everything happens for a reason. If you connected with anything today, hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you think. Share this with a friend. Subscribe. I don't know if I said that already, but I don't know. I think you're supposed to say those things at the end of this, even if you're doing legit stuff, just to remind people. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Either way, man, I'm out. You guys have a blessed day. Peace.